Hello guys, in this tutorial of year 2023 we will talk about how to create a Laravel authentication system. This app will be using React as a front end, Laravel as backend, and MySQL as database. And we will also install XAMPP on Windows, and I will try to show you how to install it on Mac and Linux as well. We will talk about installing Composer, installing Laravel, installing Vite, and as a bonus we will install Tailwind CSS. So let's get to it. First you will need to install XAMPP. We will write XAMPP, and here you can download XAMPP for Windows, for Linux, and for Mac OS. So when we download it for Windows, you can download it from here, and you will be redirected to SourceForge. And you need to click on either one of these three, Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. And when you do, you can see it's for version 8.2, so download it for 8.2 as of now, as of today. And you can see most downloads. So basically this one, you click on here, and you will need to wait 5 seconds. You can download it. And now I forgot to mention we will need to install Node.js. So go to nodejs.org and download the one for LTS. So here, and just install it as usual. And here in XAMPP, just install it as usual. Next, and just choose everything. Choose a folder and just install it. And when you have installed it, we will need to install Composer. So you can see getcomposer.org and just download here. If you are on Windows, just click download and run composer setup.exe and install it as you would normally. Otherwise, copy these lines from command line installation. Copy these lines and copy it into your terminal, paste it, and that's it. And then you can use Composer. So let's say you have downloaded Composer and installed it. Now we will need to install Laravel. So if we go to laravel.com, we can click on Get Started, and the version we're using is 9. So we will need to say, we will open a new folder, open folder, and I will put it in htdocs. It doesn't matter where you put it. And I will call it Laravel Auth System 2023. Just open this folder. And you will need to copy, just copy these lines. Don't copy example app because that's the title of the project. So just copy these lines. Copy. Control C. Open the terminal, so terminal, new terminal, paste it, and just say server here, enter. And it should install everything. If you have an error here, try to debug it by Googling what the error you got. Maybe it's the wrong PHP version. It's most likely the case that you will have the wrong PHP version for the Composer, or for the Laravel, sorry. Or also for Composer. But here I have 8.1, I think. The version is 8.1. Let me just check it. So my PHP version is php-v 8.1. But it's okay because Laravel 9 requires at least 8.0, I think. So in the meantime, you will install Yarn. So just say npm I for install, space -g, and then yarn, and then enter. And then you will have access to the Yarn package manager. Once you have installed it, you can just say yarn create vite, enter, and just say call it client, enter, and just choose React, JavaScript, and that's it. And now go into client with cd client and just type yarn to install the packages. Now the server, we will need to do, the first thing we will need to do is go to env and just call this one this database DB database Laravel of 2023. Save and go to you of course you will also need to start XAMPP control panel. So just open this, and here you will have the option to start the services. So start Apache and start MySQL. Once it's started, if it didn't start, just restart the computer and reinstall XAMPP and just start again. Once both of them has started, you can just say localhost /phpMyAdmin, and you can say new to create a new database, and you can say Laravel of 2023, enter. And for this project we will not need additional migrations, just say php artisan migrate. Okay, we were in the wrong folder, so just go to cd server and just php artisan migrate, and you can see all the migrations have been created. You can verify by refreshing this, and you can see we have, well, the one that we are interested in is users and personal access tokens, so we'll need both. So basically here in our server we will need to say, first go to app, exceptions, no, HTTP, kernel, and uncomment line 42 with the ensure frontend requests are stateful. Save the file. Go to where is it? Middleware, HTTP middleware, verify CSRF token, and in the accept array, just say star, like this, and that's it. And now we will need a controller, so php artisan make controller of controller, enter. And now in HTTP controllers we have off controller, and here we will have public function init with a request of type request. And then we will say user equals null. Then we will say if auth, and then guard sanctum check. Then the user will be auth guard sanctum user, and then we can just say return user. Then we will need a public function login request, and then we will say credentials request only email password, and then we'll say if not auth attempt credentials, then we will return response of a message invalid credentials JSON, and then status 401. So just write this code. Otherwise we will say user equals user, and it was auto imported here, use app models user, and then we will say find and then auth user ID, and then we'll say token equals, and I don't remember how to do this on the top of my head, so just go to packages, sanctum, scroll down, and also the user in the models folder, app models, should has API tokens as the trait. So here basically here we can just copy this line, and we can just say token equals user and just create token, and then call it, just call it token, and then plain text token, and then we will return user and token. And now for register, public function register, we'll say request, and then user create name, email, password. Name will be request name, email will be request email, password will be bcrypt, which is a function to hash the password. And this attempt function will not dehash it, but will compare the password that you have provided from the UI against the hashed password in the database. So here we will say, we will just do the same thing, and we will just say like so, just copy and paste. So that was it for Laravel, and now we'll go to our client. First, we will need to say yarn add Axios to add the Axios package. And we will also need to add yarn add React router DOM. And now we can say yarn dev. And in server we can see PHP artisan serve. And we can just open this, and we can see Vite plus React, or Vite. And now in our source folder, we can just delete all of this in the return function of the app function. And also we will need to install Tailwind, so just go to Google, install Tailwind React Vite. And here we will have the first link will be this one. So we will need these 3 packages. Just stop the server, paste this, and just say yarn add Tailwind CSS post CSS all prefixer. And now just copy this line, npx Tailwind CSS init-p, paste it, and it will install a Tailwind config CJS file. And you need to go here and just copy this content object array and just replace it with this content. So that's it. And now you will need to grab these 3 here and go to index CSS and just paste them. And now go to main and go to app.jsx, delete this one, save, and just say yarn dev. It will have an error because we don't have anything here, but here we can say div and here we will need a context. So basically here we'll say app context.js, and here we'll say import create context from React, and here we'll have export default create context, and here we'll have user.null and set user like this. And here in app.jsx, here we will say app context dot provider and value, and here we'll say user and set user. And here this will be called user, and this will be called set user, and here we'll say null, and here app context provider. So here we will need an init function. So const init equals async for asynchronous function, and here we'll have const data equals await Axio, and here we will import Axios from Axios, and here we'll say Axios base your Axios default base URL equals HTTP localhost 8000, and here we'll have token const token equals local storage get item token, and say await Axios dot get, and it will be API auth init, and also we will have config where we'll have headers authorization bearer token. So what is it doing now? Now we have this Axios package which will make AJAX requests to the server, so behind the scenes, so it doesn't have to load the page every time, and it will hit the route API auth init, which we will create soon in the server, and it will also append the headers authorization header, which needs to be like so. It needs to have the word bearer, and then a space, important space, and then the token. And the way in which we include the token is, you can see here, it's not quotation marks, it's not single quotation marks, it's backticks. So basically here we have backticks, so we can inject JavaScript by saying dollar and then curly braces and token. So here we will have the data, and here we can just say set user to data.user. So yeah, and now we will create the routes. So basically say Control or Command P and just say API, and it should be in the server routes folder. So it's basically here routes in the server folder, not the client folder, and go to API. Just delete this one and just say route prefix auth, and then say group, and then we can say delete this and just say route controller auth controller, and it was auto imported here, as you can see on line 3. If not, then just import it, and then here we say group, and then function, and then we have, oh yeah, by the way, it needs to be class. So here we have route post with login, route post, so it's a post method with register, and route get init with init. So basically this will look like this. For init route, it will be slash API slash auth slash init. Because this auth is the prefix, so for this part, and the init is the function that will be hit. So basically here. So now we have the route. Let's create a pages folder inside client source. Remember, it needs to be inside the source folder, and here we can just say register.jsx, and we can initialize the component, and now we can just say div. It doesn't need to be pretty because it's not about the design, it's about the functionality. So h1 register, and here we will have form, and then here we will have input, and then password, and then confirm password, and then we also need email, and then we'll have a button type submit register, and here we'll have class name flex call gap 4. Flex means that it will be a flex box, flex call means be a direction column, flex direction column, and gap will be how much space is in between these ones. So here, instead of username, we will have name, and now we'll need a few states. So basically const name, or no, we can just say user set or new user set new user, and then use state null, and then here we can have a function to change the values. So const handle user change, and then we'll have an event, and then set new user, and then curly braces, and like so. So eTarget name, so this one needs to have a name. This will be name for the actual name, and this name here will be referenced by this one, so we will know which one. So don't confuse this name with this one. This is the name that is referenced here. So on the left hand side of this expression, this one is this one, and then eTarget value will be whichever value it is. So here we'll have value new user dot name, and here we will need to say name is empty, email is empty, password is empty, confirm password is empty, and here we will say unchange equals handle user change, and here we'll just close the function. And actually, let's just copy this one. So name, email, password, confirm password, and here we'll have email. Here we'll have password and placeholder password, and here we'll have confirm password, when this will be confirm password. And now we will need a function to actually submit. So we'll have unsubmit equals event, and event prevent default to start from reloading the page. And now we'll have we don't have validation here. We will have it here. So in register, we will have in the register function in the auth controller, we will have request validate, and then name, email, password, and unique to users. And then here we will have password, confirm password required, and the same as password. So that's our validation. And here we will have try const data await Axios API off register new user, and then we will say let's say console log data, and then we will have local storage set item token that data token, and then we'll have window location href equals to that what is it called, dashboard, let's say, homepage, and then catch error, we'll just console log error, and here we will have an error state, so this will be null, and here we can say if error response data errors, then we'll just say set error response data errors, and here we can just say error and just like so. So we can have my GitHub Copilot automatically generated some what is it called, some styles for me. So it's BG red 100, border red 400, text red 700, padding on left and right 1 rem, padding on top and bottom 0.75 rem. It will be rounded, it will be relative, and here we can just say JSON stringify error. So that's it. And here also we will need to say set error to null to reset it. And here on our on submit we will have on submit. So that's it. And now in our app.jsx, here we will have routes, and it was automatically imported from React Router DOM. And here we will need a route, and let's create a new file called dashboard. No, let's just call it protected.jsx. And here we can just say protected, and here we will say if we don't have a user, then we will have these routes, otherwise we will have these routes. So if we don't have a user, then we will have a route path of register with element of register, and it was automatically imported here. Import register from page register. And here if we do have a user, then we will have route path protected will be called protected, and we need to import this, so it was imported as well. And now if we see the page, yeah, so in our register here we will need to say async. We have an error. We need to close the function. So if we go to auth register, nothing happens. Let's see why. Oh yeah, okay. So in our app.jsx here we will need to say, or actually in our main.jsx, so instead of strict mode, just say browser router, save, refresh, and we have this use state is undefined. That's what happens when we don't import it. So now it's imported here, save, and now we have this form. So let's style it up a bit. So basically here we'll have item start, and here we'll have a button class name P4 BG green 400, like so. And here we will have class name like so. No, actually P4 border gray 400, like so. So just copy this, paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here. Now we have this, and let's just style the H1. So here we'll have text 3XL MB4, and if we click on register, Axios is not defined, you can see here. So basically what this means is that we need to import this. So import, and we have Axios imported here, save the file. If we say register, now we have this error. So this error will need to have an MB4 to have some margin, and now we have this. So basically the name field is required, and if we type in the name field and register, now we have the email field is required, so name is okay. So basically now if we create the user, user@gmail.com, and now password test. Now let's also have this password field as being type type password, copy, paste inside password, confirm. Okay, we have too much types, so we'll delete this one, and now we have this. And if we say test, now we are redirected. So we can just say application, and now we have the token. You can see the token is here, and also in our password access tokens we can see that the token is also present. So we can go to protected, no matched. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so basically here we will need to say we are still not logged in. So basically what we need to do is say use effect and create this effect and just init like so. And now we have protected. So we have access to the protected route. And if we delete this token and refresh, it will not be there. We will not be able to see the content of it. We can also say now we can create the login page. So here we can say Control V and just say login. And basically here we delete the name and confirm password. And here we call it login. Here we say login. And we delete the name here. And we delete the password confirmation here. And here we call it login. And in our app.jsx, we just copy this line to the bottom and just call it login. And just call it login. And this login needs, component needs to be called also login here. So we have the autocomplete, auto import, and here it was auto imported here on line 8. And now if we go to our auth login, now we can log in, and we can log in, and we are now logged in. And actually let's just call this like so, and now we are in the protected route. So that's the functionality. And we can also create the function to log out. So const logout equals like so, and we can local search remove item token window location href auth login like so. And here we can see h1 this is a protected page, and here we can say button, unclick login logout, and we can give it some styles. So class name equals p4bg green 500, and now we can go like this, and if we want to, and now we are on the protected page. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. See you. Thank you for watching.